The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. My name is David Rodgers. I am your host and creator of On the Spot with David Rodgers, right alongside the dancing destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. No Mr. Byron Bagwell tonight, but I do have a special guest that we're going to get with here in just a little bit. Going to love to hear this story, and I'm not going to spoil it right now for you. But anyway, good evening, folks, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Like I said, I am Mr. Friday Night in the show pony, David Rodgers, alongside the Byron Bagwell. He's not here tonight as he's having to work. And the Dancing Destroyer, Super Dave Holland. Great to have you along for this special Halloween edition from the Barnyard Diner in Lottie, Florida, David. And I'm telling you right now, hey, we've got a great show lined up. Hey, we got a lot of people out here, trunk or treats going on out here. And the diner is actually closed tonight, but they've got food out there. They've got bouncy houses. They've got hay rides. They've got music playing out there. A lot of things going on, face painting. So I'll tell you, David, it's going to be a great night, and it's finally I'm glad to be back with you, David. For 3 weeks now, we haven't had a show due to some kind of illness, some kind of something going on.
Yes.
And I'm just glad that we're able to do a show tonight. So anybody that's tuning in, thank you for tuning in. God bless you again. Sorry for the hiatus. Like I said, sometimes we get sick, sometimes we got things that we got going on, and we do apologize for that, as we want to bring you a show each and every week, but sometimes we can't help it. David, let's begin the show as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night.
Amen.
All right, here we go. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have together, dear Lord, as we're here at the Barnyard Diner with a lot of people here, dear Lord, and they're out here celebrating Halloween, one of our holidays, and we want to make sure that it's mainly for the kids and for the adults too, but we want to make sure that everybody's safe and sound, and that you keep a hedge of protection over everybody, dear Lord, wherever they're here or wherever they're at, dear Lord, their neighborhoods, whatever it may be, that you keep a hedge of protection and keep them safe from any ill will or harm. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America, the most powerful and freest country in the world today, dear Lord. Yes, we have our own issues and our own problems, but with your guiding hand and your touch, and you just touching the people that need to be in our leadership, dear Lord, in our government, and to run this great country, we can be great again. Thank you for our armed forces, each and every one of those young men and women that serve each and every day, and the ones that served in the past, dear Lord, the ones that gave the ultimate sacrifice, dear Lord, their lives and their blood and their sweat and their tears for this great country that we live in. Keep a hedge of protection over all of our armed forces, men and women, as they're fighting domestic and international terrorism, dear Lord, and anything else that's coming and willing to harm our great nation. Thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those young men and women, dear Lord, and they're out there protecting us from ill will, just not only within our state, dear Lord, in our country, and then wherever we live, but from outside as well, dear Lord. So keep a hedge of protection over them as they continue to do their duties each and every day and each and every night. Thank you for our frontline workers, dear Lord, anybody that makes America turn and just keeps America great as we need to be, dear Lord. That's our truck drivers, our railroad workers, our construction workers, anybody that's in production, manufacturing, just everybody that gets up and goes to work each and every day, dear Lord, that you keep a hedge of protection over them. as they go out there and try to only earn a living, but to make this country great again. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them, dear Lord. You know their needs and their wants, and that you got the ultimate healing hand, and that you can make things better for each and every one of those individuals. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, that goes in the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you for a great night. Thank you for a great day. Thank you for a great upcoming week. And just thank you for letting us live one more day, dear Lord. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says, amen. All right. So we're going to go into the, of course, our pledge. And, this great country here today needs about as much of it as we can. You hear a lot of the things that's going around in the world today. And, I don't have to get into it just right now because I want to get into it at another time. But, David, we've got to have some healing prayer. We got to bring prayer back into some things, schools, things that we do. And, of course, that pledge. We got to pledge our flag and pledge of allegiance to our flag.
Our country needs everybody's country. We all need
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, and that's exactly right. So I'm going to stand, David, and I'm going to ask you, would you mind saying and leading the pledge?
Not at all.
All right, let's do it.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Great to have you along. Here we go. Let's see. We're live, David, aren't we? We got to be live.
Yes, we are.
We're live. Again, we're at the Barnyard Diner here in beautiful Lottie, Florida. My hometown. This is where I live. I live about 3.5 miles from this great establishment. Casey and Chris owning this restaurant. You remember it started off being Slice and Dice, and now they closed it down for a little while. Now they brought it back up again to the Barnyard Diner, and we're having trunk or treat out here this Tuesday night, Halloween night, and we decided to do our show from here. I thought it would be great for us to get on the road again, David. We haven't been on the road in a long time, and I tell you, it's just great to be, first of all, to be not just doing a show. We've been 3 weeks. It's just great to have a show. But now we're on the road after that 3-week hiatus.
And it's Halloween night. Where's your costume at?
I'm wearing it. Yeah, so I'm in it. So if anybody wants to question me about that, just holler at me after the show. All right, I've got a quote of the night for you guys. I know you're pretty good, Joseph, probably with quotes and things like that. David, I know you are. Byron is. I know he'll be listening in here soon. So let me read you one, David. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, but not to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. In other words, we want to overthrow those guys, and we've got a lot of that going on right now. We've had a lot of it going on for several years now, and we need to get back to where we don't work for Congress. Congress works for us.
Right.
We're the people that they're supposed to be serving, and they need to quit lining their pockets. And let's talk about how they're going to help us, the individuals of this great country that we're supposed to live in. And I know there's some good congressmen out there on both sides.
On both sides.
Yeah, on both sides. And then I know there's some men on both sides that don't care about anything except about themselves.
That's it.
And I hate to say that, but that's exactly what it is. So give me a guess on that. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. I will tell you, he was a former president, but he wasn't a founding father because he was after the founding fathers.
I'm going to say George Washington.
Nice guess. Nice guess. Joseph, any idea?
Abraham Lincoln.
Bing, 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 bing. We have us a winner.
I was going to say him.
Joseph, how about that? Yes.
I was thinking it was earlier than Abraham.
Oh yeah, I know it, but that's a great guess. Abraham Lincoln is right. Joseph.
Very intelligent, wise man.
Yes, he was, and what a great president. Look, if he wouldn't have, let's just call it what it is. If he wouldn't have declared, let's free the slaves, we still may be in slavery today. It's a possibility. I doubt it, but it's a possibility.
What would Florida be like?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or any of these, what any of these would be like. It would be.
Any of these.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, anyway, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers again. We got a great show lined up for you. I want to talk about a lot of different things. We're at the Barnyard Diner tonight, David. You just had some good rice, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you did. Where's mine, David? Oh, David says, oh, well, yeah, yours is not here right now. So, but anyway, David, what do we got coming up here? Who's tonight's show sponsored by the way? We got to go back up one, don't we, David? Yeah, you got to go back up one little screen there, and now we'll tell you the show's sponsored by tonight. Oh, well, and I guess it's sponsored by us. Me and you, David, our On the Spot with David Rodgers and On the Spot Motorsports Media and Harry Business. How about all three of them?
And we got a lot of sponsors tonight.
We got a lot of sponsors tonight. Even the Barnyard Diner, really, if you look at it, we're here in their establishment.
Well, that's our sponsor tonight.
Yeah, for sure it is. And again, we'll get into that a little bit more. David, we got the roundtable coming up here in just a second. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back to the roundtable right after these messages.
Oh, let's do it this way.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium. And thank you for letting us be
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Dave, I was waiting for a cue from the producer. He's like, hey, we're back. But anyway, hey, we're back. Here's the round table. This is where you go around the region, around the world, really around the state here in about 60 seconds. David, let's start with the breaking news that we got here, if we can, please, sir.
Okay.
But while you're doing that, while you're finding that, David, Austin Stevens, the microphone that we're using, it's the same microphone. It does have excellent sound tonight. Shirley Bagwell, good evening, ma'am. How are you? Cassie Udi, I agree about the microphone. Great sound. Olivia Hill says amen. Lucy Davis says amen after the prayer. Patrick Henry says, you have a very uplifting program. But God bless you and your staff. Thank you very much, Patrick, for those kind words. Good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. Who's that? That would be the
Brother Byron.
Brother, that's it, Brother Byron Bagwell. Oh, wow, talking about Congress, Richmond, north of Richmond, but Oliver Anthony's playing on Eagle Country. How about that? Isn't that crazy? Deanna Williams is watching. Dave Holland Jr. is watching. Dave Holland Jr. says, fix the commercial. No, I don't believe slavery would still exist. Too many things to stop it. And he may be right. You know, Byron's got a good point. But it would have never stopped at that point.
No, it wouldn't
It wouldn't have stopped at that. No, it wouldn't have. You're talking about that happened in 1861. So, through 1865, I mean, that could have went another 20 or 30. That could have easily reached into the 1900s. I mean, we don't know. Who knows at that point? But Byron's right. It could be that it wouldn't exist today, but you just don't know. Dwight Allen is watching tonight, brother. Dwight, thank you for tuning in. And we love you, brother. All right, I'm going to go ahead with some news. We begin in Bradford County, where one person is dead and another seriously injured following a car crash on State Road 100 west of County Road 225 at Southwest 101st Avenue this afternoon. The road was closed for an extended period, but is not back open as of now. The investigation by the Florida Highway Patrol is continuing. David, there's been several things going on in this county today, and I hope we got them all here. As the same time as that car accident this afternoon, firefighters from Stark Fire and Bradford County responded to a barn on fire on State Road 16 between the city of Stark and the Clay County line near Northeast 17th Ave. Additional firefighters from Clay County assisted, and the fire was brought under control within 30 minutes. There were no injuries, but a car and the barn were a total loss. Cleanup continues into a semi-crash on US 301 at the Alachua County line after a semi ran off the road and crashed into the woods yesterday afternoon. Gainesville Fire Rescue's hazardous material team responded to assist Bradford County firefighters, but fortunately, there were no serious injuries. Traffic on US 301 was backed up for nearly 8 hours into the evening. Good grief.
I drove by that.
Did you drive by that?
A big old tractor trailer, bed and all,
Good
was
night.
laying in the ditch right where the guardrails and everything. It must have went in the ditch and went forward. It took a hell of a time to get that out of there.
Yeah. All right. Hey, many of you know our producer Dave Holland is a businessman and creative genius, but now you can add crime fighter to that list. That's right. Last month, Super Dave observed a suspect in a shoplifting case run from the Stark Police at Walmart. The man ran across 301 to ride in the back of homes behind the Main Street Urgent Care Center, but he could not hide from the watchful eyes of the dancing destroyer, Super Dave Holland. You want to comment a little bit on that, Dave? Oh, David saw the suspects and immediately called 911. The dispatcher used Dave's information and told the police exactly where the man was hiding, and he was located and subsequently arrested by the Stark Police Department. The man was charged with theft and taken to the Bradford County Jail. Nice job, Super Dave Holland.
I'm just sitting there waiting for
Sure you are.
my friend to come out of Walmart, and I see this guy walking kind of a jog.
Yeah,
I figured he left his wallet in his car,
sure.
but then I see 2 officers chasing him.
Yeah, he didn't leave his wallet in his car.
No.
He must have left something else in there.
And he got away from them really fast.
Yeah.
And the little housing complex across the street from the Walmart is the direction that he was going.
Right.
Well, the cops jumped in their car. By the time they got in the car and got out on the road, they made a left instead of a right. And I took off and drove into that housing complex and went all the way to the back, and there he was walking the sidewalk.
There you go.
So 911, hey, that guy you're looking for is at the address where I was at. Cops coming down the
Well,
road.
let me ask you. I know you're a 9th degree black belt. I've known that about you. You didn't put the kung fu moves on this dude.
I didn't even get out of the car.
Yeah. Dave Allen, great job.
I just made the phone call and let them do the job.
Great job. Byron Bagwell says, let me read a couple things. Go on to the next one if you will, David. He said, let me see. Oh, well, talking about, okay, let me get back here. No, I don't believe slavery would still exist. Too many things to stop it, which what he said, I agree. He said the import of slaves was already stopped by that point. He's got a point there. Yeah, and he's right. Good evening, Dwight. Miss being on the show, hopefully making a comeback. Otherwise, expect temperatures in Bradford County to dip near 40 degrees Fahrenheit Thursday morning, mid 60s tomorrow, David. Near 40s on Thursday morning. So wow, starting to get to those cooler temperatures. The original slave traders are still in business today, but nobody seems to care about that. And I agree with you, Dwight Allen. They are, and nobody seems to be worrying about that kind of stuff. Hey, you know how I know this? Let me give you 2 words: human trafficking. That'll tell the whole story right there. Human trafficking.
Yep.
So if slavery wasn't still sort of in existence today, that's what they do with them. They kidnap you. What do? They sell you in sex slavery or labor slavery or whatever the case may be
It's the
Americans.
second largest economy in the world.
in the world today.
Only number 1 above it is pornography.
Part of it, yeah. And I believe, is it total pornography or is it child pornography? And I hate to say
I
that.
couldn't specify.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna look at that.
pornography is number 1.
Yeah. The White Island said, way to go, David. Chantel Rich is watching on the show. Lucy Davis said, good job, Dave the Brave. Yes, Shirley, thank you so much. We have missed the show as well. Like I said, a lot of us has been ill. A lot of us has been, under the weather. We've had things going on, and now we're back, and we got a lot of things to talk about, especially those Bradford Tornadoes. As soon as I get finished with my guest, Mr. Joseph Britt. He's our special guest tonight, and if you don't know this man, if you haven't been following some of his stories, we're going to get into that really, really good here in just a few minutes. Thursday night team trivia, don't forget that. I host that on Thursday nights, team trivia at the Downtown Grill. It starts at 7:30. We do that in the dining room area, so if you're interested in doing Thursday night team trivia, come on by, stop on by, and challenge your wits against me, and and against the other teams. We really have a good time. A lot of great food, a lot of great drink, and we just have fun. We laugh and carry on, and we would love to see you there. But before that, don't forget on Wednesday nights, Michael Heater, who still does some things with our show, he has Wednesday night team trivia at Fun Point. It starts at 7 o'clock, and he can go ahead and get you rolling with that. He's always got a great venue. He's got, because Fun Point is a great venue, he's got great trivia questions, great trivia art up there for you. So make sure that you tune in with Michael Heater on Wednesday nights at Fun Point, and that starts at 7. All right, David, do we have our what's the date? Didn't see what's the date. That's okay, because did we pull a winner last week, the last time we did that beforehand? I think we did, didn't we? And we're going to have to go back and check our notes unless somebody can tell me who the winner is from last month, and I'm sure everybody's going to say, oh, it was me. Yeah, no, we got that written down somewhere. He said, if anyone was curious, this is Austin Stevens. I don't know if you watch a show, Joseph, a lot, but Austin Stevens is our young man that does our weather for us. Michael usually does it, but he gives us our weather forecast. He said, if anyone was curious, no frost due to wind speeds out of the north up to 10 miles per hour overnight. Mid to upper 30s for the Swanee River Valley area, but no frost. Shirley Bagwell says, plus the influx of immigrants have affected that as well. So, Lucy, we will see you then. Roy Jackson, hey, I'm glad you're watching. Roy Jackson's a 3-time winner of that certificate. Did you know that, David? He's the only 3-time winner. Roy Jackson. Oops, I forgot I worked 3 to 11 on Thursday. Well, you won't see us then, Lucy, but maybe we'll see you on one of these Thursdays that you're off. All right, David, so no, what's the date, but that's like, we'll come back with that next week. Let's take a quick commercial break, David, and I'm going to bring in our special guest tonight, and then we're going to talk about a few things, and then I want to get into some tornado football and some other things that are going around the area. We'll be right back on this commercial break. Boy, that's the quickest haircut I've ever seen. David, how'd you do that in 22 seconds? Can you tell me?
It wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard at all. Okay, I got you.
After 45 years.
After 45 years, you got the speed down pat, right? Welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers, creator, host David Rodgers, right along with our producer and director, Super Dave Holland, the dancing destroyer. No Byron Bagwell tonight. Got to work. No Austin Stevens. He had a couple of things going on. Byron said, brother, we can't offend the people who are still doing that, a.k.a. the Muslims and the Chinese. Well, sometimes, when you want to try to go back and you're trying to decipher things, sometimes you can't help but to say who is on the background, who is really doing these things. And again, I'm not going to say anything about anybody, but that right there, brother, is a true statement. Melissa Cribbs is watching. Dwight Allen says, what's up, Chris? I'm not sure who's talking there too, but all right, anyway. Hey, special guest tonight, Mr. Joseph Britt.
How you doing?
How you doing, brother? It's been a while, man. We've known each other a long time.
Long time.
Yes, sir, a long time. And when I asked him on the show, I don't think he put 2 and 2 together until just when he seen me earlier this afternoon. He goes, David Rodgers. Okay, now I know what's going on. But anyway, let me just put it bluntly, Joseph. If you've been under a rock, living under a rock, if you just are way out in space or left field, 50,000 feet in left field, if you don't know what's been going on in the Middle East, man, I'm telling you right now, you're not paying attention to what's going on, not just within your country, but within the world. I mean, you know, every time you see some kind of news feed, there's something to deal with Israel and Palestine and Hamas and Hezbollah and those entities there. And then you've got the other countries over there, Syria, Iran, Iraq, you know, Saudi Arabia. Everybody's jumping in on this thing. And this thing is starting to get pretty ugly. And I know that you were over there. And I just want to tell the people, first of all, let me introduce yourself there.
My name is Joseph Bird. I spent a month over in Israel. More than half that time was spent in a very hostile environment. But one thing I would like to say is Hamas and Hezbollah are giving a lot of Arab and Palestinian people a bad name. Because through the experiences that I will talk about here tonight, you'll see and you'll hear that, I mean, I met some of the nicest people in the world while I were over there. And they would open their homes to me. They invited me in, had dinner, spoke English to me, helped me get around the country while I was hiking through the country. So we have a small group of people in different places over there that are really giving a lot of people a bad name, David.
Yeah, and you know, that's exactly right. I was in the U.S. Navy for several years, so was Dave Holland. And I was on flight crew with a VP squadron. We went over there and showed our airplanes over there to them. And we flew into Tel Aviv and went and did the tour of Bethlehem and Jerusalem and went to see the Wailing Wall. I didn't get a chance to go over into the Gaza Strip or that area, but those people, like you said, were some of the nicest people that you would ever want to meet. And they treated us very hospitable, put us up in the nicest rooms, nicest hotels that they could find over there. The damn panorama was right there on the beach. Took us out to eat, took us to their homes, and were very, very cordial and very nice to us. And like you said, those entities that you said is given a bad name, not only but to all those people over there. And I hate that, I don't want to say a handful, but this group can take so much action and do so much damage without any of the civilians over there interacting. But I believe that they're just afraid of these people and that you know what they will and are capable of doing. And I don't know if you want to talk about any of that, but I'll let you speak on your experience over there.
My experience of what I came across, one thing I will say, there's cities in this country now that I wouldn't leave my belongings sitting around in, David.
No, sir. No, sir.
But when I was there, my backpack, my tent, my things could sit around. I didn't have to worry about it walking off. People are always nice and helpful. If you needed something, the food was great.
Yep.
But you do, like in the Gaza Strip, you know, you have the majority of millions of people there with a small group of Hamas that is keeping them entrapped and using them for human shields in a way.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And even though the Israeli government, and I've seen a lot of this myself, being in the south of Israel, you know, they tell them, we're going to do this,
Right.
Get out of here,
Right.
okay?
Right.
But Hamas won't let them leave. They keep them there. So now when you got Israel bombing Hamas targets and trying to get rid of these hateful individuals,
Right.
and now they're the ones getting the bad name.
Yeah.
When all they're trying to do is protect themselves and their people. I have a friend there who's a journalist. I really can't say their names.
It's okay.
But, I mean, I'm getting information that he's trapped in Sderot, and for the stench of the dead bodies and the explosives, you can't hardly breathe there. And there's not even the personnel to clean it all up because they're having to fight a war right now.
So, when you were there, they got your back, man. And then you can talk about that.
Ron
in just a
DeSantis
minute.
got me home.
They got you home. So, let me ask this: was you in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, or was you a little bit of everywhere? Was you in the middle part of Gaza? Was you in the northern part? And is this escalating through the whole Gaza Strip?
I wasn't in the Gaza Strip. I wouldn't
Okay,
actually
okay.
subject myself to going into an area because I was unfamiliar.
Right.
And a lot of the people over there will tell you if you go into an area like that you need to have a guide with you.
Okay.
Somebody that knows their way around certain parts of the West Bank, Gaza, Golan Heights. So I didn't go into those areas.
Right.
But I did take the time to hike completely across this country. And to visit some of the places that I learned about as a child with my dad.
Sure.
And all these awesome stories in the Bible that I knew, and I've always wanted to visit there. And so that's really where the desire came from. And so it wasn't about going over there and being a tourist.
Right.
It was about going over there and enjoying the environment and the people and being able to see the things that I only read about for over 40 years.
Right.
So I hiked. There was places that I went through Ashkelon. There was a couple of the southern towns I was in, but when I was there, they were at peaceful times. It was before the war started.
Right.
Okay. And there was a lot of good people there.
Let me interrupt you there real quick.
Yes, sir.
Did you have an inkling that any of this was going to
No,
be going on?
had
Isn't that
no
crazy,
idea.
huh?
The only inkling that I got was when I actually made it up to Haifa on October the 6th. I got a feeling something told me I needed to get back to Tel Aviv and go ahead and fly on home. And then so I did. I rode the train back to Tel Aviv on October 6th, made my flight reservations, and was literally walking to the airport because everything shuts down on
Green
Shabbat
Airport
over there.
Yeah.
And, so I'm walking to the airport. Wasn't a long trot, but I could make it. And you start hearing the rockets exploding over your head. I got video of it, and rockets landing close enough to the hostel that I was staying in there that, it cracked the walls. It shook the ground, And yes, Iron Dome is very effective, but it's only about 90 to 92% effective.
Right.
So 1 out of 100 is going to get through.
It's going to get through.
Somebody's going to get hurt. And
So you were going to Ben Gurion Airport, right? To
Yes.
fly out, right? International Airport.
And I
A
got-
beautiful airport. Went through there myself because that's where we flew into and we kept our planes at. And of course, we exited through that airport. Like you said, Tel Aviv, all that's very nice. It's
beautiful.
And it is very beautiful. And for you to be heading to the airport and hearing that, did your heart beat about 50,000 beats per minute?
it skipped a few
It
beats.
skipped a few beats, didn't it?
It skipped a few beats because I went on a budget.
Right.
Okay, I went on a budget, and my budget didn't allow for me to have a high-class flight ticket where it would be refundable.
Right.
So when the taxi driver that was there about 2 miles away from where I had made it to told me they shut the airport down, they grounded all flights, I knew at that point that I was stuck.
You were stuck.
I was trapped, and that was it. And at that point, I never really feared for my safety because
Yeah.
I know my Father in heaven protects me and provides
Absolutely.
for me and takes care of me.
Yep.
But it was a very unnerving moment at that very instant.
Yeah, Byron, my co-host that couldn't be here tonight, said, yeah, he is right. Every time the good guys try to cut the cancer out, they end up dead. Probably, let's see, a fatwa, is that what he said there? Fatwa, probably spelled that wrong. That's probably, he said a fatwa is a death sentence. For sure. And he says, yes, they use the innocents as shields, like you were saying.
Yes, they do. And something I learned like in college, politics today, as long as you're thinking and acting rationally, you can deal with those people. But these people do not act and think rationally.
No.
They have one goal in mind, and that is to exterminate anybody that doesn't go along with what they believe and teach.
Right.
And they don't care if you're men, women, children. I seen where these babies were beheaded and bodies mutilated. I seen IDF soldiers being, after they're dead, being stomped until you can't even recognize what they are.
Right.
That they were IDF soldiers. And this is when the initial attacks came on October the 7th.
Right.
The leftovers of it, so to speak.
So,
the aftermath.
Right. So
That's barbarian.
It is.
very barbaric.
Very
That's
barbaric.
That's very barbaric. And he named the two groups that are really, really instilling all this. Hamas, of course, and then Hezbollah, like you said. But I do believe, you can correct me if I'm not right on this, I do believe some of these others are getting involved, like whatever's left of ISIS.
Yes.
ISIS.
ISIS-K
K
is getting involved.
yeah.
Hezbollah's already. I mean, I was in the north, and luckily I left out of the north and came back to the south because Hezbollah is attacking in the north.
See, and that's why I was wondering
Israel
about that.
is returning artillery fire back across the border. Plus, you got the United States taking out Iranian targets and supply depots
Yep.
in Syria on the Iraq-Syrian border.
Yep.
I mean, you know, and the thing is, what's taking place was told over 2,000 years ago what was going to happen.
Sure.
It
It's
was
coming to
told
fruition, isn't it?
It is. It's coming, and we are literally watching prophecy unfold and become history in front of us.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'll go to the book. Of course, if you've read Revelations and you have never read any other part of the Bible and not understanding, like he was saying, how these 2,000 years have come to progress, that book will scare the bejesus out of you if you've got any feeling in you. I'm telling you, man, you read the book of Revelations and some of the things that are going to be cast upon us. Who's going up? Who's staying here? Who's going to die over the cause? It's really, really scary, Joseph. It's scary.
It is. It's very scary. You know, I mean, you look in the book of Luke. He tells us when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, know that the desolation is nigh.
Yeah.
Those in Judea flee to the mountains.
Mountains. Yep.
You know, and it doesn't mean Israel surrounded. It means
Right.
they've already made it into Israel, and they're
Israel,
surrounding
right.
Jerusalem.
Yes.
And do people really understand what those verses are telling them?
Yeah.
I mean, when you know, desolation, you look at that word in the Greek, and it means uninhabitable by man or beast. And
Yeah.
you know, there's only one thing in this world today that'll cause that. And those
Oh,
are
absolutely.
chemical
Nuclear weapons. Yep.
You know, so at a point it's going to get used, and they're going to use it. And we know Iran's going to be involved in it at some point.
Well, absolutely, and I'm glad that you brought up Iran because I personally believe that they're funding all this. All that money's coming through
Yes.
them, and it's being funded and sent to all these, like you said, all these different organizations, all these different countries, and you know, they're over there saying, oh, you know, we're the cause of this. Israel's the cause of this, and they're steady sending money, sending currency to all these countries to be able to do what they're doing to Israel right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know how much you know about the Israeli military.
I know quite a bit about it.
You sure do,
I've
don't you?
dealt with them.
And you know about their pretty much their homeland security, like Mossad.
Yes.
Mossad, and we know a little bit about that. I've dealt a little bit with them as well. I'm telling you, buddy, that is not going to be an easy feat for anybody to jump on Israel and beat them.
It's one of the most powerful militaries in the world.
In the world, close to ours, they probably close to Russia, maybe China, possibly. But I would put them right up there with us. But see, Joseph, and you said it here. What I'm thinking is happening is all these other countries that has had a problem with Israel now is jumping on the bandwagon jumpers. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to side with you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that to try to get rid of Israel. Well, the problem is they've got one big ally, and I didn't mean to, one big ally, and that's the United States of America.
It's our little
And
brother.
that's our brother over there. And I'm telling you, if you turn Israel loose, if you just say, Israel, go do it, they will do it. And I guarantee you, they'll destroy everything over there. This man knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You've had military experience.
I'm pretty sure that's where it's at right now.
Oh, I'm
United States is already shooting Yemeni
drones,
drones and rockets
rockets.
out,
Yep.
doing attacks on countries. And you know, Iran is financing it, but their biggest backer is China. Because
Yeah.
China is the largest purchaser of oil coming out of Iran.
Yes, it
and
is.
what a lot of people don't know is China's been preparing for this for over 5 years. They've been stockpiling oil. They've been stockpiling grain that they've been growing here in this country
Yep.
and shipping it home.
Yep.
And they're doing this because they know what they're going to do.
So I'll read a few comments here. Jimmy Dwight Byron said exactly what I said. He said Iran funds all this with American money. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Dwight Allen says they will put me in Facebook jail again. I'm not sure what that's about. He must not want to say something. Jimmy Burnett is watching. Dwight Allen says, thanks, I may get put in jail too now. The children of God will be protected, as Byron says. Yes, they will. Cassiudi says, I'm Israel shy. Is that right? AM Israel shy. I'm not sure what that means there. Psalms 144:1, Byron said. I have to look that up again just to familiarize myself with it, but he cited Psalms 144:1, and Shirley said amen. That is Shirley's son, by the way, Byron Bagwell, our co-host. But man, I'll tell you, David, do you got some pictures that you want to show that Joseph took, if it's okay to show?
Yeah, I was talking to Joe earlier.
Yeah.
And he was making a comment about how busy Israel normally
Sure.
is on a good day.
Oh, yeah, great day.
And he showed me this picture here.
That's the
Joseph,
city
go ahead and
center.
make comments.
That's the city center of Tel Aviv. Because
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
staying right next door to the Carmel Market, which is like twice the size of the Waldo Flea Market.
Yeah.
Open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's usually so busy. I mean, I wouldn't say New York City busy,
Right.
but if you're not watching where you're walking, you'll bump into people. And this is a picture of what it was like. That city was dead. There was nobody on the streets. There were curfews at night. And they just didn't want anybody out on the streets to end up
Pretty much
hurt.
everybody abided by it.
And they all did. That's one thing, when they tell them to do something over there, then people do it because they know they're just trying to keep them alive.
Cassie, I'm glad you said that because I thought that's what you were meaning to say, and maybe I just misread it. But what she was saying is Israel will continue to live.
Yes.
So, thank you, Cassie, for that. You were talking about where you were at. That we actually was doing a lot of detachments, and like I said, we were showing that the aircraft off to a lot of different countries, and Tel Aviv was a stop for us for a week, and I saved my money because I wanted to buy Miss Shelley Rodgers, my beautiful wife, if you're watching, hello, I wanted to buy her a special diamond ring.
Right.
The diamond exchange was there. I don't know if it's still there as we speak, but this was a big, my gosh, 8-9 stories up. We had to go up in an elevator. We were guarded, you know what I mean? And I told them how much I had to spend, and this lady brought out, just dumped a bunch of diamonds on there, and she said, "This is what you can get for your budget." And then she, put it on an 18-karat mount for me. But like you said, that place was beautiful. Like you said, there's people always doing something, going to work, going to have fun somewhere, going to eat, going to a club, and then now what you just said, desolate.
When I first got there, the beaches were packed like you would see the beaches here in Florida during the summertime. They were packed.
Yes.
And after that war started, there was nobody out there. Nobody.
So this was several years ago for me, 25 years ago, maybe 28 years ago. You were talking about the beach and how it ran along Tel Aviv right there.
Yeah.
The Dan Panorama Hotel was right there across the beach, right down from Central there, just close to the beach. And that's where they put us up at. But you were staying, more closer into the Central, into the center?
I wasn't but about maybe 8 blocks from the beach.
Okay.
But I wanted to stay close to where I could get to, I wasn't trying to be there, like I said, as a tourist and spend a lot of money on high-class foods. And I wanted to experience the Israeli experience.
Right.
And to do that, you got to stay closer to the areas where those kinds of foods are and those stores are, and to try to feel as one of those people.
Yeah. And that's a great way to do it. So let's go back to the beginning of your journey.
Okay.
When did you actually go over there? When did you actually physically set foot in Tel Aviv?
September 27th.
27.
About a week
before all that went down.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went. Give us a little bit of your going. So you got into Tel Aviv. I'm assuming you got settled in wherever you were settling in, and then where did you go? What did you go do?
I spent about 2.5 days in Tel Aviv, enjoying the sights, the beach. enjoying the food and everything there.
Yeah, oh my God, great food, right?
It's
it's David.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. That's all I'm gonna say too. It is awesome.
It is
I will
awesome.
say.
But then I headed to Jerusalem.
Okay.
Because the first day of what they call Sukkot there, the Feast
Yep.
of Booths,
Booths.
had started, and that started on Saturday. So I went ahead and let that get passed and went on Sunday to Jerusalem.
Right.
And I spent 2 days there in Jerusalem. One of the awesome things that's there is if there's a park,
Yeah.
they're all clean and you can camp there if you
Yes,
want.
you
It's
can.
not like you got to go ask somebody. And I did. I set my tent up right there just outside the old city.
Yep.
And stayed there that night in my tent and camped out. Came back the next day, spent half of Monday, which I believe was October 2nd, and then started out on our hike and then headed south,
Right.
which is towards the Gaza Strip, and then
Okay.
worked my way over to at the Ashkelon area.
Right.
Okay, and then from there I did take a bus and worked my way back north of Jerusalem, staying out of the West Bank, and I needed to charge my phone because that's my translator.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Of course it is.
I needed, and that's, so I charged my phone on the bus, and I
Right.
got to a small town. It was actually a predominantly, I don't want to say Palestinian, but an Arab people's town. It was predominantly
Yep.
Arab.
Yep.
But they were all very nice, like I said.
Yeah,
They were
everybody.
very
Sure,
helpful.
sure.
I mean, some of the nicest people you've ever met in your life, and helpful.
Yeah.
Really go out of their way to help you. And then I started, my goal was to trek up through the countryside. Of course, I visited Caesarea Maritima,
Right.
which was the ancient port city
Okay.
King Herod built.
Yep.
Seen the old Roman aqueducts that supplied the water. And then worked my way up the coastline and worked my way into the Carmel mountain range, because that was probably one of the most exciting stories that I remember
Right.
as a little kid, was the story of Elijah
Sure,
and
right.
the 450 prophets of Baal.
Right.
And so I wanted to visit there, and I wanted to camp out in the area.
Right.
Now let me tell you something that happened that was very exciting, but it took a little faith, David.
Right.
So I'm camping out in the woods in the Carmel mountain range. I'm in a one-man tent. I make a bed out of leaves before I put my tent over it. Probably 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear a pack of jackals growling around my
I
tent.
knew you was going to say that. Either you was going to tell me some snakes, or you was going to tell me some jackals or some kind
It was, and I guess they were growling because they was arguing over who was going to eat me first.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the only thing that came to mind is that story of Daniel, where God closed the lion's mouth when he got cast into the lion's den.
Right.
So I rolled over and I prayed, and I can tell you for a fact, no sooner than I said amen, you heard that pack of jackals run off into the woods like a herd of buffalo, like something ran them off,
Wow.
and I never heard another sound again. I laid back down and went to sleep.
Wow.
Slept through
Wow.
daylight. That's a true
That's
story.
faith, brother.
That is.
That's faith.
That's
You
the
know
truth.
what I mean? I'm a godly person. You know, we open this show up with prayer, pledge, and a patriotic quote each and every show. And I'm not going to change that. And Joseph, I don't know how much you follow the show up until now, but I've had people say, well, I'm not going to watch your show. Why are you not going to watch my show? Because you pray and the pledge. You say the pledge. Okay, no worries. You don't have to watch the show. Well, if you don't like that part, just put that part out,
That's right.
and then just come back when we're done with that. But I'm not changing what I believe in, or what this man believes in, or what Byron believes in, or what my people that watch this show believe in.
right.
Just like you, I'm not going to change it. If you don't want to watch my show because we do the prayer, the pledge, and a patriotic quote, well then okay, then that's fine. You don't have to watch it, or you can wait for those 15 minutes to be over, and then you come and catch what we're saying. But I'm not changing. We're not changing. We talked about this, me and you. We're not changing anything that we're doing, and I'm not.
Because as soon as you take God out of it,
Yep.
it'll start going. Look at every episode of anything that ever happened in
Yep.
history. You start taking God out of it, and it starts going downhill, and that's
Yep.
just a fact.
So Byron says, praise to be the Lord my rock, who trains my hands for war, my fingers for battle. He is my loving God and my fortress, my stronghold and my deliverer, my shield in whom I take refuge, who subdues peoples under me. That's Psalm 144:1. Dwight Allen says, good night, everybody. God bless America and Israel. You got to get up early in the morning, Dwight. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, sir, absolutely. Diane Ennis is watching. So she's a very good friend of mine. She's a very beautiful lady. She helps do wedding dresses and things like that, helps our beautiful brides out. Great job that she does. Chuck Smith's watching. Cassidy says, if you want to donate to help Israel, and they need donations right now in the worst way, the best places to send funds are Jewish Federations of North America, Ahim Laneshik, or Brothers in Arms, veterans that support current IDF soldiers, Hatzla, the help provide first response teams, and Zaka that have teams that work to collect remains of those killed in unnatural ways to prepare them for proper burial. I'm happy to provide resources for anyone looking to support Israel, as that is her job. She said, and that's my job to do. So that's awesome. Byron says, and again, Byron, yes, Cassie, please provide that to us. If you want to send this in a text, we will put it up on our page, On the Spot with David Rodgers page, and every other place that we can figure to put it at. So, yes, please provide that info so we can get it out to each and every one of them. Shirley Bagwell says, thank you, David, for doing the pledge and the prayers like you do. And I'm not changing it, Shirley. This is not going to happen. Hey, if you don't want to watch the show, that's up on you. I'll leave that to you. Byron Bagwell, do you have an email address I can forward links to? I'll put them in our weekly newsletter so you can get them out. We do, Cassie, and that's on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. David will put that up here in just a second. That's on the spot, all one word, 32091 at gmail.com. You can hit me on my messenger page. You can hit me on my Facebook page, my regular Facebook page, On the Spot with David Rodgers page, and also On the Spot Motorsports Media page. Exactly, that Mitchell Gunner, we'll talk about that here in a minute, that he hosts. So yeah, any one of those avenues you can definitely hit us with. Yeah, you can send it via PM, private messenger. You can send it, like I said, to On the Spot right there in the right-hand corner, On the Spot 32091 at gmail.com, and we will get it out over the airwaves. So, getting into the story, so you camped out to beat the Jackals. After you beat the Jackals, what happened?
I didn't beat the Jackals.
Well, God helped you beat the Jackals.
Well,
yeah, you still defeated them because the God put his hand in on that prayer and said, hey, flee, and they did. So you did beat them. You did beat them. You know why? Because you believe.
I have faith.
You have faith. You believe. Okay, so what happened after that? Where'd you go?
I worked my way on up through the Carmel Mountain Range, finding the old springs spots, and finally made my way close enough to Haifa where I could hitch the train. And that's when I caught the train actually back to Tel Aviv.
So, David, when you was in the service, did you pull into Haifa? You didn't ever get a chance to get over to that part of the Med in that area there? Okay, so Haifa, I never been.
Right.
But I know a lot of my buddies has been, pulling in at the port, when things wasn't as volatile as they are now. But I heard, now I don't know how much you got to see. They told me it's a pretty little, it's
beautiful.
Smooth. That's what they say.
People have to realize that Mount Carmel is not just one mountain. It is a mountain range up there that Haifa is pretty much built on around the outskirts of it, in that northwestern corner of Israel.
Yeah.
That's where all the ports are at. That's where the Navy ports are at. That's where the cruise ship ports are at. That's more of the industrial complex.
Yeah.
But the homes, it reminds you of a lot of ancient type homes, the mud brick homes that have been there for a long time. And they literally litter the mountainside, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
You know what it reminds me of? And Joseph, I'll tell you, it reminds me of homes in Greece.
It is.
Like
that time there.
Yeah, and you spent time in Greece too, so have I. And they're just so beautiful, man. And you could be walking along those homes, and all of a sudden there's a little restaurant there that you can go and eat, and probably got the best food in the world. That's what I loved about those places like that. And like I said, you can't experience that here because of just the way things are, but there is still sort of, it's modern, but it's not modern. You know what I mean? It's still hadn't come full-fledged like we have with everything here coming full-fledged.
I ate a lot of Eros over there.
Oh, me too.
Euros are good, too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they are.
The best Greek salad I ever had was in Crete. And I'm telling you right now, they know how to make a salad, buddy. That's why I fell in love with salad. I'm like, you know, you can keep bringing that, and that bread that you make, you can keep bringing that too.
Oh yeah, and it's all baked fresh.
Baked fresh.
Hey,
Oh man,
I had the best baklava that I've ever eaten in my
I'm
life.
glad you said that.
And it was made fresh there at a bakery that was owned by some Israeli or Jewish women there in the Carmel Market. And that was my first stop every morning. I would go get the fresh baked pitas and the fresh made baklava. Just, it's like it melts in your mouth.
I was just getting ready to say it does.
Wonderful.
The best dessert I've ever had.
Best.
I
It's
tell you what,
baklava. It's baklava.
when things settle down, I think I'm going to make me a trip to Israel.
I'm gonna pray to get it back again too, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, and it will settle down. We hope and pray that it will, but it'll settle down, and I want to go too. We need to go. Tel Aviv, me, you, Byron, all of us get together and we'll go, man.
I don't want to go by
I'm game.
myself.
No, we'll all go. We'll just get a
You
group
went by
of us and
yourself,
go.
right?
Yes,
But he
I
went
went
by himself.
completely by myself. Well, I wasn't never alone though.
No.
I was never alone.
Oh my goodness, here we go. All right. Byron says, okay, yeah, thanks, brother. I was hoping, yes, we get that on the spot through 2091 at gmail.com. Jimmy Burnett said, keep God in your program and he will bless it, David. Absolutely. Thank you. That's what we do. We want to bless everybody, just not us.
Yeah.
We want to bless everybody. Dana Bell's watching. Thank you, Dana. Dos Volts. Yep. Byron. Amy Lewis is watching. Renee Stegall-Shaw. You got to know her. She follows the show all the time. One of my classmates, love her to death, was always good friends. She said, y'all need to change the subject, David, talking to you and Joseph. David Rodgers is gaining weight with every word that you mentioned.
We ain't talking about food.
Yeah.
Oh, we were.
Baklava, yes we were. Yes,
there's 3 kinds of
Greek
baklava,
salad,
too.
Yes, there is.
Never knew that here.
Shirley says, do they have turkey?
I didn't experience any turkey. I experienced a lot of the like Euro type meat that would be lamb and beef mixed. A lot. One thing you have to understand over there in Israel is they do not have a cheeseburger because they do not put cheese on meat.
Oh no, they
Period.
don't. Period. Yep, you're right.
So that was the first thing I ate when I hit the Atlanta airport when I got back here was a cheeseburger. But other than that, the food is great. They like to serve a lot of eggs, scrambled eggs.
Yes, they
with
do.
Tomato sauce. I can't remember the name. Shashuka, I think is what it's called. Shashuka, and it's really good. Served over rice with fresh vegetables. Like their vegetables are so good.
Yes, they are.
You
Yes,
bite
they
into
are.
a tomato.
Look at that guy. Look at this guy, man.
You bite into a tomato, and you understand now why it's a fruit.
Yep, and
They're
that's
sweet as sugar.
you ain't
It's
kidding.
So good.
Shirley says, darn, I thought I did the best desserts. You do here, Shirley, right here. But that baklava, you even got to admit, man, you can't beat that baklava. Shirley does do the best desserts, though.
Really?
You know she does. Well, we ain't getting no more cake and pie.
No.
Yeah, she does the greatest.
She does great desserts, man. Absolutely great desserts.
Oh, yeah.
Byron says it means God wills it. Yes, I did know that. Yes, God wills it. So, again, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. Didn't get a chance to go back over. We're at the Barnyard Diner here. We've got trunk or treat going on, trick or treat out there going on right here in front of the Barnyard Diner. Chris Davis and Casey Napier are owners of this establishment. If you don't remember it, it used to be Slice and Dice Barbecue. Slice and Dice Barbecue was always great. Just some things came up. They had to shut it down for just a little bit, but they reopened it back as the Barnyard Diner. They have great specials at a great price. Make sure you come in and visit these guys. Again, it's not far from start. A hop, skip, and a jump. You can be right here in Lodi, right here at this establishment, getting you something good to eat, something good to drink. They've got a salad bar here that you can't hardly beat. So, man, y'all make sure y'all make the drive from Stark or any surrounding area. You come and visit Chris and the guys here. and they'll hook you up. Have you eaten here yet?
No, I haven't had the opportunity.
Did you eat here when it was slice and dice?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was
phenomenal.
That beef brisket that Chris does,
Yes.
you can forget it, man. I'm telling you right now, that melts in your mouth. I don't know if he's doing it right now. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that and see if they're still doing some of that brisket. But I'm gonna try to get him on the show here in just a few minutes, and we're gonna talk about that. Let's see. Michelle Crawford Nugent's watching. Thank you, Michelle, for tuning in. Well, you've never tried my baklava because we've never asked for it, Shirley. Okay. We would like some baklava. I know Byron will because we talk about it. Hey, I'm willing. I'm willing because I'm going to tell you, that lady right there has never made anything bad. From her cakes, pies, any of that dessert, anything that she's made, she's never made anything bad. I can assure you, I bet you that baklava is good.
I don't think I've ever had.
Really? Oh my gosh.
It's the greatest dessert on the planet.
Yeah, I think
so
too.
good.
It is so, like you said, melts in your mouth. Michelle, hey, how you doing, Michelle? Glad that you can tune in. It's good. Yeah, yes, it is good. Yeah, you're exactly right. My special guest is Joseph Burt. He's back from his hiatus in Israel. And glad that he's back before all this stuff really, really went down, man. And I'm glad to see you back. I'm going to give you a second here or so as we get ready to wind up your segment here. If you want to give some thanks to anybody, is there anything special that you want to say that maybe me and you have not hit on?
Yes.
Just some things probably that comes from your heart.
Yes.
Okay, very well.
There's an organization in Gainesville. They were the first people that seen my post on Facebook. I can't remember her last name, but the lady's name was Miss Linda, and she was with the Jewish Council of North Central Florida.
Okay.
And they're based out of Gainesville. That sector of it is based out of Gainesville.
Yep.
And they made contacts with people in Israel to help me. One of them's son offered me to live with him. They sent money to help with food and lodging until I could get out of there. They were also had contacts at the embassy,
Okay.
State Department,
Right.
that were trying to help. So they were the very first organization that really tried to do anything to help.
That is awesome.
And that again is the Jewish Council of North Central Florida. And there's some really good people there. And they take donations as well, just like the other one you were talking
Yep,
about.
there's Cassie Udi,
and they're
yep.
there to help with the same kinds of things.
Cassie Udi said, here we go. You can say Linda Maurice.
Linda Maurice.
Yep,
That's her
she's-
name, yes.
Because she says she works for the Jewish Council, so she knows the lady personally.
Oh,
How about that?
Awesome.
It's a small world. It's smaller than you think.
Yeah.
She knew exactly who you were talking about.
Yep. And the other thanks that I would like to give is to our very honorable, and I don't think there's a more honorable man around than our Governor Ron DeSantis. Because that man, even in the news they were saying he was going after Floridians, but he brought Americans home. The last few days I was there, I teamed up because of my ex-military experience
Yep.
with the company that was working for them to help get people out of there. So the last few days I was there, I was helping them. And they weren't getting Floridians out. They were getting Americans out of that country.
Yes.
And they didn't do like our State Department did us and made us sign promissory notes before they would even allow us to have the ticket to get on the plane to leave the country. And then once they got us to Athens, they left us stuck there. So Ron DeSantis not only started getting people out of Tel Aviv, but all these other airports the State Department was shipping people to.
Right.
He got Americans by the hundreds, if not the thousands, back home, and he didn't leave them stuck here in Tampa, Florida either. He flew them on home, and there were people on that plane from Washington State, California, Montana, from all over the country, and he didn't leave them stuck there. He's a very honorable man.
And why do you think? And again, he's a presidential candidate. And I mean, again, I don't want to get into that part of it right now because we can say that for another show. But that is why he is running for president, or depending on what happens,
Because
he's
he
a
cares.
president because he cares about people.
He
Like you said,
genuinely
it's not
cares.
just Floridians, like you said, it's everybody. He cares about everybody. I've even heard him say, to the extent, I've heard him say this: I don't care who you're affiliated with. I care about people. I care. And then he said
That's
that.
it.
He cares
does.
about people. And
So Joseph,
Yes, David.
yeah, yes, David.
could you once again go through your process of how you made it home?
Okay, so I got in touch with the Jewish Council in North Central Florida, and then I made contacts with the embassy the day the rockets started firing, and actually asked them if I could come to the embassy, and they said yes. I get there, I show them my credentials, they won't let me in.
Uh-oh.
And so it was another one of those points where I had to fend for myself. And so I did. God took care of me. He provided for me through a lot of good people out there. And at that point, it was just I had to fill out a form on the State Department website, travel.gov, whatever it was. But then I also filled out the one for the Florida Division of Management. or
Right.
I forget the exact name. But
Right.
emergency management. And then they got in touch with me. I flew from Tel Aviv to Athens, and actually the flights got canceled the night I was supposed to leave on the 13th because of rockets falling at the airport.
Jesus.
And that's, and that was very unnerving because the bomb shelter at the airport is across the street. It's not in
right.
the building.
It's not right.
And it wouldn't take much for one of them rockets to hit all them glass windows in the front and hurt a lot of people.
Wow.
And so all the flights were canceled that night, and I didn't actually get to leave until about 11 a.m. on October 14th to fly to Tel Aviv. Then once I got to Tel Aviv, I got teamed up with the organization that was helping doing the work for Ron DeSantis and getting people organized, getting them ready, finding out. I mean, we were just walking up to people in the airport, are you American? And they say yes. And we were getting them on flights if they wanted to go home.
That is so awesome. So not only was you helping yourself, you were helping other Americans. You were
Yes.
helping fellow Americans try to get home as well.
I offered to the IDF. I actually emailed the IDF and told them, give me some body armor and an M4. I'll be boots on the ground and help because these are my brothers and sisters over here dying. And I really would have helped if they wanted help. I would have done it.
I know you would have, man. I can see it in your face.
So I got to Athens. I spent about 2-3 days in Athens. Actually, I spent almost a week. It was about 5 days in Athens. And then I was helping with a group of individuals where they had chartered us a flight through Egypt Air, which is based out of Cairo. And we flew to Cairo to refuel, change plane crews, and get the food that was necessary to get on the United States. Then the Cairo security people came, and because I was the contact on the plane that was contacting the people back in Athens and with the State Department,
Right.
or Ron DeSantis' people,
For people. Yeah.
they would not let the plane leave Cairo and fly to the United States because there was a man on there who his wife was an American citizen, had an American passport, but he was Israeli, he had an Israeli passport.
Oh.
And our people actually told him, get on the plane because he's lived in America and owned a business here.
Right.
So they knew who he was. They told him get on the plane. Cairo wouldn't. They wouldn't let the plane. So through instructions through the people I was dealing with, I didn't have to get off that plane.
Right.
But I knew if I didn't get off that plane with those Israeli citizens in Cairo, that it could have turned out bad for them.
Sure could have.
Very bad.
Yes,
for
it
them.
could have.
And so I went voluntarily with those people, sat through 10 to 14 hours of security where they confiscated our passports, which at that point, once they take those, you could disappear and there's no proof you was ever there.
Ever there. Right. That's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
once
I
they
had-
take those credentials, yeah, you're exactly
you're
right.
done.
You're done.
And so we had to sit there and wait, but finally, through the company, we got them back to Athens. I spent 2 more days in Athens, and then I flew home, and I got home on the 20th of October.
So-
I spent 28 days in that country.
So is this it?
Yes, that's the flight leaving out of Tel Aviv right there
Right
when
there.
it was leaving the ground.
Right. So, got your little video there as you're leaving, and you can see some of the homes and the buildings and things in the background there as Joseph was getting ready to take off there. Read a couple of comments here. Cassie Udi says she sent that email Byron Bagwell says, I don't know that I've ever had your baklava, Mom. You've been holding out on me? Yeah, well, we're getting to the truth. And you know what? Shirley hadn't answered yet. So I bet she's guilty. You think she's guilty? I think she is. We'll see.
She's going to have to throw it on us now.
Yes. Cassie Udi said, Linda Maurice, who worked for the Jewish Council, which you recognize the name. She said, I forwarded his story to Linda, and they were very happy to help. And I found his story thanks to Bradford word of mouth. Don't doubt the impact of what the community and some of the stories there can do. And she's right.
There was a lot of good people that's where they seen where I posted my GoFundMe. And that's where the majority of the money came from, was from Bradford County citizens donating to help me get by until I could get home.
Yeah, that's exactly
and that
right.
was such a blessing to be from this small town like this.
Yes, sir.
And I'll get to that in just a second. I'm glad you said that. I found, he was a bright spot in a very dark time for us. Knowing we could help in any way made our day. Mark Udi is watching. Byron Bagwell says, thank you, sir. May God's light continue to shine through you, meaning you. And Mark Udi said, for me to get some rest. Man, do I look horrible? Do I look that? I told you I had my Halloween costume on. My goodness, he didn't even. But anyway, you were talking about a small town and how people really pitch in. The Jason Aldean song about, how we take care of each other in a small town. Yes, we do. I know there's some words there that some people think are derogatory or get twisted around, and he's not meaning what everybody thinks that he's saying in that song. You know what I'm saying? He's meaning more of, yes, okay, I get it, but mainly it's helping each other out. That's what the
being
song.
there. It's like
being
having
there
brothers around the corner, and you may not even know them personally, but they're in a time of need. They will be there for you.
Yes, they will, and that's exactly right.
Would you go back?
I'd go tomorrow if they'd let me.
See?
I'd be on a plane going back. I would. I'd find something over there to do to try to help. I came home because my mother was upset. It wasn't really out of the fear for myself, but my mother was upset, and we recently lost my father a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Lost a brother back in 2010, and I just thought it best if I came back home so she didn't have to worry.
That was such a shock to me to hear about Lucian.
Yeah.
I mean, he just seemed like more than life,
Yeah.
The last time I seen him crawling up that ladder, to fix my AC.
Your AC,
Fixed everybody's AC.
Fixed everybody's AC.
And then the next thing, he's gone.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
exactly right. So, hello there. How are you? Anyway, Joseph.
Nice to be here, David.
Oh man, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you were able to share that story. I'm glad that we're able to get that out. I'd like for you to come back on maybe in a couple of weeks and let's revisit this and see where we're at in a couple of weeks from where we talked today, because we know what's going on over there. We know what the fight's all about. And let's come back and let's revisit this in a couple of weeks. Are you game?
I'm always game. Anytime you want.
Well,
All right.
Are you a Tornado fan?
I was born and raised in Bradford.
So you know.
What do you think about them boys?
Have you been keeping up with them?
I have been watching them. I mean, they started out on the top of the list at the beginning of the season, ranked, and then against all those Jacksonville schools, and they're holding their own.
Yeah,
They're playing
Miami
good football.
schools.
We haven't seen this in a long time, and they're doing really good. I'm proud of them boys.
Yeah, this is a traditional football team. Like I said, started back from last year. Young men started back from last year when Coach Rodgers took that job, and we went 12-2 last year. Had I think 8 or 9 shutouts then. Now we're undefeated. We're 9-0, so we're 21-2 overall the last 2 years with like 14 shutouts. This defense is outstanding, Joe. You got to see it. You can listen to me and Byron call the ball game, but you got to really go, David, right, and watch this because these guys are just outstanding. And we got a revenge game coming up. They were the only team to beat us last year was the Swanee Bulldogs. And they got us over at their place 10-7. We had a chance to win the ball game, and we just wasn't able to pull it out. But those boys have already been talking to me. They've even got the score on the scoreboard from last year. Will Hartley's got it 10-7. So reminding everybody. So I want you to go out there live and support those Tornadoes. Cheer loud. That place, Joseph, There ain't no reason why that place shouldn't be packed on Friday night.
No
We're
reason.
bringing
No
it into
reason.
our neck of the woods.
Yeah, and they're going to bring people over too because, like I said, they know it's a little revenge game type deal. It's still a regular season game. They need to win too because it helps them in the playoffs. We need to win so we can stay where we're at. You know what I mean? So, which is number 2 in the state
Do you
in
know
Class
what
2S.
their ranking is?
Yeah, in Class 2S, they're number 2 behind Cocoa. Now they were 3. They moved up to 2. In the Jacksonville area, this whole regional area, we're number 2 behind
they
St. Augustine.
undefeated?
Who's that? Oh,
team
Bradford?
we're playing.
Oh, the team. No, they lost 2 games in a row. Madison County wore them out 2 weeks ago, and they lost to Wakulla last week. But don't let that fool you. That just you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're going to catch them on a down trot, but hey, don't let records. Hey, just throw it out the book. We know what this game's about. And hopefully we can go with a 10-0 season, and then we'll just find our fate in the playoffs. I'm sure we'll host each and every one of those games here at the house. But this team is ranked 7th overall in the state. 7th.
That's saying something.
That's by, you know, IMG, you know St. Thomas
Oh, yes.
Aquinas, you know Hollywood Chaminade, you know Miami. That's us behind those big schools. I want to say big ass schools. And that's it. So I can say that, I guess. Yeah, so we can go ahead and say that. And I'm going to tell you right now, Bradford could hold their own with each and any one of them. I ain't saying they win the game, but they could hold their own with that defense. We're doing this, really, let's count it, 38 players. Yes, we brought 12 up from JV, make it 49 or 50. We're really doing that with 38 players. Kids, Joseph, are playing both ways. Just great conditioning. Coach Rodgers got them bought in. They're bought in themselves. They hold each other accountable. Hey, I got your back. You know, what you were just saying about how all this went down with you. You know, we got your back. And that's why these boys play. And, man, they will lick you right in the mouth. So go out and support your Tornadoes live. Last regular season game against the Swanee Bulldogs this Friday night. Game time 7:30. Pre-game show for us at 7. Kickoff at 7:30, and we'll get to that as well. So anyway, Joseph, thank you very much, brother, again.
Yes, sir. Can I give these boys one little comment?
Yeah, give them.
Continue to play the game for the love of the game.
That's
You'll
it.
be successful.
That's it. Byron says, thank you, Joseph, for everything. Byron says he wish he
Thank
could have
y'all.
been here tonight.
Thanks for bringing me home.
Cassie Udi says she would
That's
like
Miss
to come.
Cassie. That was the first person I spoke to at the Jewish Center.
Yep.
Jewish Council of North Central Florida.
She said she would
First
like to
lady.
meet you. So
Okay.
maybe y'all can arrange that, or we can. And then Byron said we're going to do some stomping. So I can
That's
talk
right.
about some tornado football there. So again, appreciate it,
Yes, sir.
Joseph. Hey, let's go to a commercial break, David. And I want to bring in Chris and Casey, or at least Chris.
Hey, Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am David Rodgers, right alongside the Dance in Your Story himself, Super Dave Holland, our director and producer. No Byron Bagwell tonight because he had to work late, but no Austin Stevens either, but he did send us a weather report. That's okay. And right now, sitting beside me is the owner of this establishment right here, one of the owners, the Barnyard Diner. If y'all never met him, tell him who you are, Chris.
I'm Chris Davis,
You're Christopher Davis.
the cook.
The cook. He said the cook. Where's the real owner? Casey.
She is handling all that out
She's
there.
handling out. What's going on out there, Chris, by the way? It's been really fun. Now, we've been seeing everybody.
Yeah, we got trunks out there. We're fixing to do the costume contest.
Really? I'm getting ready to go
We
announce
have,
that?
Yep. We have shrimp boil. We have smoked mullet, fried mullet.
Wow.
Renwick was out there with the ribs. I think they're about sold out. We have bounce houses, mud truck, hay rides. I mean, it's a good turnout so far.
Yeah, and tell them the big word that's associated with this.
Free.
Free. David,
All but the
this-
food.
all
Free.
but the food. Everything is free. Hear it? Hear it?
That's the
Yeah,
mud truck.
that's the truck right there. They've already had hay rides. We've got motorcycles out here. We've got cars out here. Listen to that. Man, I can tell you what, man. It's a great time here right now. Chris, it was really a good turnout right
sir.
there tonight.
Yep.
I mean, this whole place
And they
was
can
full there
keep
for a
coming.
while.
We don't
Yep.
stop till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, hey,
Yes,
so
sir.
it goes till 10 now. And it's only 8:25, 8:30.
Still plenty of food.
Eastern time, still plenty of food.
Yes, sir.
What else we still got coming up? So we got a costume contest.
The
you said?
costume contest.
Yep.
The little kids,
Yep.
middle-aged kids, older kids, and adults. We have a prize to give out on all them, and then the best trunk. We're going to give out a prize for that also.
Oh yeah, the trunks are right out here.
Yes, sir.
They all look really good. Want to ask you a little bit about the restaurant. You know, you heard me talk a little bit about it. So tell everybody the hours. You're open now. What right now? It varies, right?
Yeah, it does. We're just trying to figure out with them. No employees. It's basically just me and Casey running it. We have to give ourselves time to take care of business to be able to run the business.
Right.
So we're open Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 11 to 3, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 11 to 7.
11 to 7. And each day there's something different as a special,
Yep,
right?
yep,
You still
yep.
got your regular menu.
Still have a regular menu, and then we do some kind of country cooking special every day.
And usually, so I've seen hamburger steak, I've seen country fried steak, I've seen different things.
Fried chicken.
Yep, fried
Chicken
chicken.
and rice is the biggest hit. I mean, we sell.
Is that the big hit?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at that, David's like, yeah.
That is a big hit, yeah.
Well, I don't know if that was, is that your chicken, is that your rice right there?
No, sir. That would be probably Mr. Renwick's. Because
Okay.
he's done chicken and rice outside.
He's done
tonight.
chicken and rice.
Yeah,
So-
we didn't cook tonight.
That's pretty good, but
Yeah, he
it-
does an excellent
yeah.
job.
So you open tomorrow?
Yes, sir. 11 to
Okay,
3.
11 to 3.
Yep.
Do you know what the special is? Do you happen to know?
We do not right this second.
Not just a
Yeah,
second.
we
We'll
usually
think about it
try
for a
to
second.
make a menu for the week.
Right.
With this going on, we have had a lot. So we're not sure what the special is going to be right now.
Okay.
If you walk through the doors, you get a burger. It's special every day.
It's special every day. It is. No. He ain't lying. It is special every day, and you're right.
Fresh ground beef we patty every morning.
Yep.
Cook. So it's.
I mean,
good.
the corn dog, everything is really, really good. Now, you heard me mentioning about the beef brisket. What's going on with that? I know it's a little
It is
expensive.
pricey.
Yeah, it is.
That is what's going on. It is pricey. Now we do barbecue every other weekend.
Yeah, you do.
We done it this past Saturday, so it won't be this weekend, but the following weekend we'll have barbecue. We usually do ribs, pulled pork, and chicken.
Yeah.
Brisket's just still on the high side right
It
now.
is,
It's
yeah.
not come down, so I'm trying to stay away from that for right this minute. Because
Because
if you order that and don't sell it, you lose a lot of money.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
But man, when you make it, man,
Oh, it's good.
man, hey, it melts right in your mouth.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it is. So got Chris Davis with us. I just wanted to come in and talk a little bit about his establishment. Salad bar. Give me a little deal about the salad bar. What's going
Yes,
on?
sir.
Because I was pushing that.
All you can eat for $12.99.
Jeez, man, you can't beat that with a
Yep,
stick.
and you can actually get it as a side, or you can come in and just get a side salad for I believe it's $4.99.
Really?
So yep, you come in. If you want to add meat to it with a salad bar with a meat, we have them options. I mean, just whatever, and we try to carry the necessities.
Yeah.
It does pretty good.
You carry a little more than this says. I see a lot of holes over there.
Oh yeah, you got quite a bit. Try to do fresh food and stuff. Yes, sir.
Hey, guys, look. If you want some good food, y'all need to come and visit this man here. Look what he's doing out here for the public right here. He's got a big heart. Always has. I've known him for a long time. Always had a big heart. His other half has got a big heart as well. And they wanted to put this on here. Again, you heard him say free for everything that's going on. And you still got another hour and a half to get here, by the way, because it ends at 10 o'clock. But come out here and visit these guys, man. They got some great food. The atmosphere in here is great. Chris, you've opened this up. I mean, it's still opened up. You just rearranged some of the tables. There's a lot of room here. Big time salad bar going on. You can order off the menu. You can catch the special. I'm sure, man, if he's got it, he could probably whip it up for you, even if you ask for something special, I'm sure, right? If
My
you have
saying
it.
is I could cook the phone book if I needed to.
Okay, so you cook the phone book if you needed to. So there you go. So, Chris, I know we got to get out there and do some announcements here in just a few minutes. So, and we got to do the costume contest. So I'm getting ready to wrap up the show, but I'm glad that you came on, and I want to thank you for what you did and letting us do the show here. We had a great interview. You need to go back and watch that.
Yes, sir.
This is the young man that was stuck in Israel that you've been reading about, and his story and how he got out of there. Thank goodness he got out of there when things were looking bleak over there. But again, what are we actually calling this, Chris? What is this trunk or treat?
Yeah,
What
it's
do you-
our 4th annual trunk or treat.
fourth annual trunk or treat right
Yep.
there. So
It
hey,
started back when COVID kind of hit and the school had to cancel their fall festival. We know there's a lot of kids in Lodi. and some of them can't make it to start to the pumpkin escape and stuff like that. So,
Right.
we decided to start it, and it has been a great hit every year since then.
Byron Bagwell says, "Hey, Chris, I can taste that great food from here."
Yes, sir.
So, Pam Little's on. Arlene Morehouse is on. Joey Fennell's on. Shirley is asking me, do you do breakfast? Oh, no, she's asking, do you do
No.
breakfast? We've talked about that. You want to tell?
We have, yeah. We when we first opened Slice and Dice, we done breakfast, and the deal with breakfast is it's such a cheap meal to buy. You have to sell it cheap. So selling it cheap, you have to have the volume of people coming in. If you don't have the volume to, counteract the breakfast, then you go in the hole. So we done the math after 3 months, and it was losing quite a bit of money. So we had to stop doing it. It was not a good thing. We're talking about bringing it back maybe Saturday and Sunday.
That would work.
Just not
Yep.
sure yet. Sunday is my only true day off.
Yes, it is.
We're
Yeah, if you're not mowing lawns, or if you're not doing this or that, or
that's
whatever.
my day off. Is mowing
Yeah,
lawns.
you're mowing lawns.
Yeah, it's just here.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about it, trying to bring it back to see how it does. But just like with the restaurant, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, without the community coming in, we can't make it.
Right.
So my thing is, y'all see the special. If you can't make it, share the special.
Share it, right, yeah.
The more eyes get on it, maybe the more people we have come through the door. Because this is why we're here.
Yeah.
We closed down. We drove past this place for 4 months.
And yeah, I know,
And
yeah.
it broke our hearts.
Sure it
Because
did.
We started this for the community.
Yeah.
We want everybody to ask, hey, we need a restaurant lobby. This is why we're here. But we can't be here unless y'all support us.
Yeah.
If you can't come in and eat, man, share it. Share the post.
Just
You
share.
see it, share it. Somebody's eye's going to see it that might want to come in and eat that day.
Yeah, exactly
You never
right.
know.
Byron Bagwell said, fried pork chops.
I do them.
He does them.
I do them.
He does them, B. I just don't. Is that as a special?
Yeah, we done them 2 weeks ago.
Okay, you see, he done them 2 weeks ago, so we'll see when those will come back. But yeah, he said,
I actually got a few loins in the back, and I slice them myself. So
Okay.
I'll get with Casey. Maybe we can throw it on a special this week sometime.
see, be looking out for it, B. He said he may try to do it on special this week sometime. So, Chris,
Yes, sir.
love you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for letting us do this. And we need to get out here in just a few minutes, so we got to do a costume contest here in just a
Got to
couple of
give away
minutes.
some great prizes.
Give away some great prizes. That's exactly right. You still got an hour and a half for the whole thing to be over. When are we doing the costume contest? Here in just a few
In
minutes?
about 15 minutes.
About 15
10 to
minutes.
15
Okay.
minutes.
well,
Whatever
we're gonna
time
wrap-
y'all get done.
Oh, we're going to wrap it
We're
up
gonna
here in
beat you
just a few minutes.
Yep.
All right. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, David, it was a great show tonight. We had Chris on talking about the Barnyard Diner. Joseph's story was absolutely outstanding. Talked a little bit about the tornadoes. I'm just glad we was able to get back in the saddle after a 3-week hiatus. If it wasn't you being sick or Byron or myself or all three of us or something was going on, we needed to be back in the saddle, and it felt good to be back. I was a little tongue twisted there at the start of the show, but hey, man, it's like riding a bicycle, man. You start getting used to it, and then everything flows pretty well after that. So again, David, any final words or thoughts before I close down the show? Anything that you can think of? Next Tuesday night, they can join us. Don't forget about the football game Friday night. We'll get into that.
I just gotta say, go Tornadoes.
Go Tornadoes, yeah. We're looking for a
One more
10
win
for a perfect season.
for a perfect season.
The one
Yeah.
that upset it last year.
Yes, exactly right. And
said it last
hey, I don't know if you've been in the Stark here lately. Will Hartley's got that on the scoreboard, 10-7, all week long on the scoreboard. Yep, he sure
Motivation.
does. Motivation.
This is a different team this year than it was last year.
Yes, it is. It's same but different.
Definitely
Yeah.
different defense.
We got
Ooh.
monster defense.
Defense. Golly, I've never.
I'm looking for another shutout.
I am too. Charlie, thank you very much. Hey, we need to taste that baklava again. We'll check you out on that. I want to make sure that you tune in on Thursday nights on the Spot Motorsports meet. I know you're a big race car type guy, right?
I used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah,
I
used to
knew
be.
you
Yeah,
talked
when
about
they
that.
changed the rules around, I kind of got away from it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm an old school NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And NHRA. Are you a big NHRA fan?
No, sir. I've never have been.
No. But you know, Mitchell, that's Mitchell's deal there.
That's his
and
love.
that's his love and
Yes, sir.
passion. He races, but his show you can catch on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Usually does it when he has a guest. When there's usually not a guest on, he usually goes ahead and cancels it, or just waits till the following week until he gets a guest. He's got a good co-host now, so make sure you tune in on the Spot Motorsports Media with Mitchell Gunner, your host. Again, that's on Thursday nights at 7. Man, it's been a great show. It's been a wonderful time, man. David, we're going to tear down, and then we're going to go out here, and I'm going to help Chris do this costume contest, man. Again, it's been a great night. A lot of people out here. That parking lot, you know, I've been to the parking lot. Yeah. Man, it was like ants. Man, there was a lot of people to the subway. And they was even hanging out over here. I was like,
the whole field was full. A lot.
I would never hold your tongue. What do you think came through here tonight? 2,000?
No,
not quite that. 1,000?
500.
500? Okay.
400.
400 or 500.
I was hoping for 1,000. They still got time.
They still got time, yeah.
They still got time.
You know, 400 or 500. That's still a pretty good deal on a Tuesday night. I know, you know, it's Halloween, and I know people are going out.
School and all that.
That. So that's a pretty good turnout.
Come by and get some food there, right before you head home. Come by and get some food.
There you go.
Fill up on candy, trick or treat, and swing by and grab some food. Head home.
Yeah, and jump in the bouncy house if you want.
Yeah.
You ain't jump in the bouncy. Have you jumped in the bouncy house yet?
No, I don't get in there. I'm too old.
Are you? Dave's going to get in there. The Dancing Destroyer. Got more power to him?
We got EMS on standby.
We got in. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for a wonderful show that y'all giving us, because it's all about you, the audience, and the people that watch. Again, thank you. Have a great day. Have a great night. Be safe on Halloween. Again, you've got another hour and 24 minutes to come out here to the Barnyard Diner and enjoy what Chris just said, everything that's going on. David, thank you again for directing and producing another great show. Great feed. Oh, yeah, man, it did. You know,
in the saddle.
Yes, great graphics, great lower thirds. Again, I appreciate what you do. I miss Byron Bagwell tonight, but hey, got to work for a living, right? Got to do what you got to do.
It pays the bills.
Yes, it pays the bills.
Yes,
Austin
sir.
Stevens, we hope to see you at some point. On behalf of the On the Spot with David Rodgers staff, God bless you guys. Have a great night. Have a great week, and have a great weekend. And like Chris and Dave said, go Tornadoes. Have a good one, Dave. Take care.